I know. It's not the beginning of the month, and that's normally when I do these income reports. But there is a good reason. See if you agree. Welcome to Learn with Mr. Lewis. I am, of course, Mr. Lewis, and I'm here today to give you my income report from last month, which was May 2024. And I normally try to do this the first few days of the month, but clearly we're about 2/3 of the way through June, and I'm just getting this done. Now, I have what I feel is a very good reason, a legitimate reason to have put this off, okay? Here's why. I've been in Italy the last 2.5 weeks. Left on June 1st, just got back a couple of days ago, and I'm trying to get myself back in the swing. So Italy, I used to live in Italy 30 years ago, lived there for a couple of years. I speak Italian still fluently, apparently, because I could understand and make myself understood. So I'm happy about that. But anyway, I hadn't ever been back. So it's been 30 years, and so it's been amazing. I went there with the lovely Mrs. Lewis. We had a great time. We went to 3 major cities: Naples, Florence, and Rome. And of course, in those places, we saw a lot of the big stuff. You know, in Naples, we went to Pompeii and we went to the Amalfi Coast. And when we were in Florence, we saw David, of course, and we went to the Uffizi Gallery. We saw the Ponte Vecchio, you know, so many of those big things in Florence. We also went to Rome, and in Rome we saw the big stuff: the Colosseum, the Pantheon, the Trevi Fountain, St. Peter's Basilica, the Vatican Museums. We went to all of those kind of big things, but on top of that, we also went to some maybe lesser known places, some smaller towns and sort of out-of-the-way sites that maybe tourists don't usually go to, and those were some of the highlights of the trip, I felt. Now, a couple of the places I went: Avellino, a town just outside of Naples, and Ascoli Piceno, which is over near the Adriatic Sea, north of Rome. I went to those places because those are places where I lived when I lived in Italy, and so I wanted to go and see those towns, and that was a lot of fun. We discovered some hidden gems, places I'd never been before, museums I'd never visited, and sites I'd never seen, and it was pretty spectacular. So anyway, I guess if you're planning a trip to Italy, you know, let me know. I can give you an idea or two. I'd love to do that. It was a great trip, right, Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis agrees. So that's the most important thing. All right, so a quick bio, a little bit about me. I am a classroom teacher. I teach at a middle school, 7th grade social studies. I've been teaching for over 20 years, and I teach right here in Arizona. So that's where I'm coming from. I guess it makes sense because I'm wearing an Arizona Cardinals shirt. And they are not the best team in the NFL. But, you know, doesn't mean we don't love them. That's the new dog. My daughter got a dog, so it's a puppy, so she's a little, we're training her, we're working on it. Okay, anyway, so this was my 10th full month on TPT. I started last year in the middle of July is when I really started my store, and so what I'm telling you is something that you can do and hopefully accomplish, and maybe even more during your first year on TPT. So I'm 10 months in, 10 and change at this point at the end of May. Okay. Also, you can view some of my previous income reports. The links are in the description, or you can go to the top right now and click on that. Okay. So this month, how did it go? Well, it was definitely better than I expected. So I'd been trending down a little bit, which I think is logical as we were getting near the end of the school year. And I really definitely did not expect the numbers that I ended up getting in May. And so that was a welcome surprise, I will say. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second, though. My followers also increased. I'm up to 65 followers on the channel. I got 2 more reviews, and they were both really nice reviews. I really appreciate that. And my store currently has 126 products. But let's without further ado, let's jump into the numbers. So we're going to start by talking about my ranking. So this ranks you how your store is compared to other stores that made a sale during the month. This is a fairly new feature on TPT, and it's a cool one to look at to kind of see where you are, and helps you to know, a month that might seem down maybe isn't down, because everybody's kind of down certain months of the year, I think. But anyway, so this is updated the first of each month, the first part of each month, usually around the 5th. And so that's when you'll want to look for this. So the nice thing is that the month of May, I was back up to the 93rd percentile. I had been down around the 91st percentile, so that was a little trend up. And you can see my store ranks 7,045 for the month of May. And again, that's compared to all the stores that made a sale, not all the stores on TPT. So anyway, I was happy about that. And I was definitely happy about my earnings. I made $250.97, which is a good $100 more than I was really expecting. My sort of floor goal was I wanted to at least hit 100. That kind of feels like a minimum that I was hoping for. But I really did not expect to sell 200 and certainly not 250. So that was really exciting for me. I also had my highest earning day that I've ever had on TPT. You can see that right there on the graph. That was May 8th, I believe. And that was $53.20. That was my first $50 day, which was exciting. I'd gotten really close a time or two and hadn't quite gotten over the 50 mark, so that was awesome. My lowest earning day, of course, I had 7 days with 0 sales. But of days where I had sales, my lowest was $1.04, which I'm used to seeing that number come in because I have a number of products that I have priced so that it comes out to $1.04 in earnings. So anyway, let's look at the units sold. So my units sold, the number was 99. This is below my average for the store because the average is 109, but 99 to me feels great. It feels really high. Again, I didn't expect to be anywhere near that this month, so I'm really excited about that. So views were a fair amount below average. My average is 967, and as you can see there, I had 707 views. But this is not really discouraging to me because I feel like at the end of the school year, it's just not, at least for the product that I get most of my sales out of, it's maybe not a product that you typically expect people to be buying at the end of the school year. But anyway, so it was down, but the encouraging thing with this is that my conversion rate, as you can see here, was 14%, which is above my average. My average over the last 6 months has been 13.2%. So to see that tick up a little bit is exciting. And I'm really, really looking forward to, well, I'm not looking forward to it too much because I'd like to enjoy my summer to some degree. But at the same time, I am looking forward to the start of the school year because I expect to see some really good sales and hopefully, fingers crossed, better than last year. That's what I'm hoping. I expect that it will be. I'll be surprised if it's not better, but it'll be interesting to see how much better. Anyway, let's look at total earnings. So one of the cool things this month that was just amazing is that I passed the $3,000 mark. That was really exciting. So I'm up to $3,096.10 on my sales over the last 10 and a half months since my store got going in mid-July of last year. And I guess the thing that to me is important to let you know and to remind you is that I did all of this while working full-time. And so it's something that you can do too. It takes a lot of effort and dedication and time management and maybe sacrificing some other things that you might enjoy, but it is possible to do this while you are working full-time as a teacher, as I am. Okay, so this is a chart that I've been showing you if you've watched previous videos that Mrs. Lewis put together. You can see my July of last year was just part of a month, and I was just getting my store going. I made $45, all the way up to May, where it was $250, which again trended up from March and April, which I was not really expecting. So as far as for next year, hopefully we'll see all of these numbers move up from what we see right now on this chart. And next year we'll be able to compare last year to this year, and so that will be kind of cool to see. Hopefully it will be cool. If I do well, then it will be amazing. So that's what I'm hoping for. All right, so I did get some reviews. I wanted to share those reviews with you, and it's just a good reminder to everybody that when you buy something on TPT, which I do from time to time, there are things that I have purchased, and make sure that you review. I think that really helps. Well, I mean, obviously it helps the seller, because if it's a positive review, of course, that's amazing. But at the same time, if you've got some constructive criticism, that can really help them to improve their products. And so the other thing that you do get a little bit of TPT credit, it's not a lot. I don't know, it's like 5 cents or something like that. But again, that's better than nothing. And so remember to review. It definitely helps out people's stores. Okay. So this first review, this is from Kenneth C. This was back in the middle of May. This was a video guide. It's just questions that go along with a video. This was a video done by the History Channel about 20 years ago called Engineering an Empire. And this was the Ancient Greece episode. And here's what Kenneth C. had to say. He said, video questions were great, easy to implement and easy to answer, which is exactly what video questions should be. Video series was a bit slow, but it served its purpose and gave students a visual of the information. And he used this with 6th graders. And thank you so much, Kenneth C. I truly appreciate the positive review. And that's really kind of what I'm going for with these video guides. This is something simple that you can use even last minute if you need to, or when you have a substitute. This type of video guide I find to be ideal in that situation. Okay, the next one is from Allison E., who is a frequent user of my products and has given me a lot of really wonderful reviews that I truly appreciate. And so I do thank you again, Allison E., not only for using my products, but helping to build my confidence and help to keep me going. And I really do appreciate your review. And this is for my Today in History product, which is a set of daily warm-ups that you can use for pretty much any social studies class. And this is what she had to say with it. She has used this with 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Anyway, she says, my students love these. We do this every day as our warm-up, and on days that I skip, if we have other things to do, they are very agitated because they like to know what happened in history. LOL, thank you. Well, thank you, Allison. Again, I truly appreciate you, first of all, buying my products and using my products, but I also really appreciate the positive review, that's for sure. Okay, so that was May for Mr. Lewis. My tip for this month, you should have gotten some information about some changes to the way that the store is going to look on TPT. And if you've been on there in the last few days here, this second half of June, you will see that your store looks different. Now, it only looks different to you at this point. The changes don't go live until the beginning of July. But you should have gotten a message from TPT about this. If you didn't, or if you don't know where to find it, I'm putting a link down in the description for this. And so I definitely recommend before July 1st, going in there, taking a look at it, making sure that the store looks the way that you want it to. And like most changes, there are some things I really like about it, and there's some things that I kind of wish they had left the way that it was, but that's pretty typical. And we'll see how this goes. I think one of the positives about these changes is it's supposed to look better on different types of devices. So whether you're looking at the store on a laptop or on a mobile phone, it should all be more compatible in that way. And so that hopefully is a positive. Anyway, so remember, you can only see the new version. You can't actually go back and edit your old version. So you can't make any changes to what your store looks like now to everybody else. But you can go in and make changes so that when this goes live at the beginning of July, it'll look the way that you want it to. And again, all the details are in that information that was sent out by TPT. So my tip for you is to go in there and get your store ready for July so that it's ready for the beginning of the next school year. All right, so what are my plans for the rest of this month? Well, since I've gotten back from Italy, I've been feverishly working on Today in History to get everything ready for these summer months, finish up June and get July ready to go. And then my goal after that is going to be to go in and make some edits to my product for the next school year. I'd love to know how you did in May. Was it like me? Did it trend upward a little bit? Hopefully it did. Anyway, let me know. Let me know in the comments how things went for you during the month of May. Also, I would love it if you would join my email list. You'll get different updates about my products and about my store, and there's a link for that you can find as well in the description. Also, I do a daily Today in History video on YouTube. Again, this is every day. It's in two different formats. One is a long form like what you're watching now, and then I also have it broken into shorts. And you can watch it right here on this Learn with Mr. Lewis channel. And I'm kind of losing my voice, and I don't know why, but I'm going to power through. I'm almost done. Okay, also remember that I do an income report at the beginning of each month about the previous month, except for, of course, this month it wasn't at the beginning, but, you know, it's kind of far away. Also, please be sure to like and subscribe. That really does help my channel. And again, thanks for watching. This has been Learn with Mr. Lewis, and good luck to you with your store.